Welcome back to Beauty Bee. I would suggest at this point that you go watch part one, which I will have linked up in the cards, as well as in the description box. If you want the TLDW version, I have a beauty budget of $35 that I could spend in August, and every week I've been figuring out what I would purchase had I been making the purchase that particular day. On to the video. Two more left. Yep, we got the Wet n Wild Shadow Primer again. And the Revlon Pink in the Afternoon lipstick shows up again. Uh, we've moved on in eyeshadow from ColourPop to NYX. I was looking particularly at the Ultimate Utopia palette. This, I think, is a really pretty palette, and I mean, I made my last one yesterday, so I remember. This is on that list as well. I just love the variety of shades they have in here. It does have the matte and shimmer peach that I was looking for, but it also has a couple of pretty impactful shades. There's that greenish gold, which I think is gorgeous. There's a shimmery blue. And there's quite a good variety of neutrals too. I really do want more color. Looking forward to fall, I know that I will probably be needing to wear a mask a good portion of the time. So while I do love wearing pretty bright, bold lipsticks, no one's going to see that. So I would like to add some more color to my eyes, and I really do not have the items to do that right now. So I thought that would be a good addition. And I also was looking at the Milani Romantic Rose blush. I believe this is sort of a mauvey rose matte shade. I don't actually have the picture in front of me right now, but I think I remember picking this out. I think I chose this like the day after I used my mauve transition shade from one of my Wet n Wild palettes as blush, and I loved the effect. I'll link that tutorial up in the cards. I think that was the tutorial. Anyway, it was really pretty, and for some reason, my first reaction was, oh, I should buy a full-size blush in this color. Not, maybe I should use this a little bit more in the compact that I already have. And then maybe when it's done, I can decide if I want to purchase it in a blush. Because, that's reasonable. And now on to the final week. This time, I again would have purchased the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. So that came up again. I also would have bought the Ultimate Ash palette. This, I think, is a perfect looking fall and winter palette. It is again sort of this half neutral, half colorful look, but the colors here are much cooler and a bit deeper than you would see in the Ultimate Utopia. There's a matte navy, there's a matte deep green, you've got some grays, which I'm looking forward. I do have, I think, two metallic grays in my collection, but they are both much warmer than this. They're almost like a platinum gray, so quite warm toned, and I think both of them pull very warm toned on my eye. I think one of them looks almost gold on my lid, and the other pulls very taupe. I find that my skin color tends to bring out any warmth that a shade has, and I think that this, being such a cool palette, would not pull quite as warm on me, that I would actually be able to achieve a cool toned eye that stays cool toned. And I'm excited for that. Uh, I also purchased the Wet n Wild Shadow Primer. Again, that's sort of a need. And the final item would have been a Wet n Wild lipstick. A couple different options for this particular lipstick written down. I was looking at the shade Rosebud, which I actually think I've panned a tube of before, though it's been a couple years. Coraline, Spiked with Rum, Mad for Mauve, and Strawberry Lingerie. Now, these are lipsticks that I could probably actually look at sometime if I was at Target or Walmart. So I think I might take a peek at them. I really like the Wet n Wild matte lipsticks. I have not tried the satin. The Wet n Wild does have some sort of sparkly finish ones, and I've tried several of those over the years. They're like the cheapest lipsticks you can find at the drugstore. And I mean, I've fallen for their Siren's Call a few times, and they're not awful, but there's very few shades in which I would be willing to wear a shimmery lipstick. Uh, the shades that I was thinking about sort of getting a My Lips but better, maybe My Lips but more spicy, My Lips but more pink. I know that last week I finished a lipstick that was a My Lips but better shade. I am probably within a month, maybe 2 months tops, of finishing my Blushing Mauve lipstick, and I have a third from ColourPop that is more of a warm red, but I think it will be on its way out in the not so distant future as well. Especially once Blushing Mauve is gone, I think I'll fly through that one. So I wanted to get sort of a replacement, easy, everyday shade for myself. So, what have I learned? Honestly, I think that my purchases, while the particular items have changed somewhat, have stayed fairly constant. Every week, the sort of big item that I purchased was eyeshadow. I do want more color, I want more variety, and I saw that in the items that I picked. I was choosing items that had a lot of color in them, but that I could also still make what for me is a complete look out of. So that means that they had some neutrals in there. I do travel quite a bit, not this year, but I live away from my parents. I visit them a few times a year. I go to conferences. I It's not unusual for me to travel 6 or 7 times. So I do like to be able to take pretty much any makeup that I buy traveling with me. So getting something compact that can give me a whole full look. So in this case, I think what we saw pretty much every time was sort of a half neutral, half colorful setup is important to me. I really do want slash need that Wet n Wild primer. Just need it. And I mean, that's my eyelids eat eyeshadow, I think, without them. And I perhaps the most interesting thing to me is that the amount that I was willing to spend on lipstick pretty much decreased every week. I know that lipstick is an area where I have quite a nice variety. Um, I am at this point starting to get close to finishing some of the ones that I've had for a while, but when I go back, which hopefully I will be back when I actually make this order, I will the number of lipsticks available to me will probably double at least. And there are a lot of those that I am nowhere near finishing. So I think that if I made this order today, it would probably look practically identical to the one that I set up yesterday at Walmart. So the two NYX palettes, the Ultimate Utopia and the Ultimate Ash, which would give me a nice variety of brighter colors, but also cool tones, the Wet n Wild Shadow Primer, and a single bullet lipstick. And I think those would all be really nice. I think that all of those items would give me a lot of value and utility, and I think that they would add something different to my collection. I do not feel like I would get, for example, the Ultimate Utopia palette and be able to dupe it within my current collection. I know I can't. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this entertaining, helpful, or just interesting. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed, and see you next time.